gonna give nobody none of my jelly rolls. I wouldn't give you a piece of this cake to save your soul. My mom told me today, before she went away, to be a good boy, she'd bring me a toy. I'm my mama's pride and joy. Now there ain't no use for you to keep on hanging round. I love you, but I've got to let you down.
Hi, and welcome to Castálio Podcast, episode 126. I'm Eliezer Rezende, talking from Pouso Alegre, Minas Gerais.
Hi, and I'm Bruno Rocha, speaking from Guarulhos. And first, I have to say Happy New Year, everyone, because actually this is my first episode this year. Unfortunately, last episode I could not make it because of the traffic here in São Paulo. So first, Happy New Year and welcome to Castalio Podcast 2018. And that's it.
All right. So our guest for today's episode is a passionate self-taught team lead and software developer, Cyclist, that loves speed. He is director of engineering at Landing Front and PyCon Colombia chief organizer. Our guest today is John Roa, and we are going to be talking about PyCon Colombia, which is going to happen in Medellin, Colombia, through February 9, 10, and 11, 2018. So, John, welcome to Castalio Podcast. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Ezequiel and Bruno. I'm very happy to be here on the program. Yes, as you mentioned, I'm director of engineering at Landing Front, which is a startup that is in fintech. And I'm also chief organizer of the event PyCon Colombia. We are very happy because in a couple of weeks, we are going to have our second PyCon. And we are very looking forward to the event. And that's very much.
Very nice. Yeah, so in Castalio Podcast, we try to mix some of personal stuff because we like to know people. And also we like to talk about the technologies, of course. But we are going to start with more personal stuff a little bit. After, if we had time, I would like to know about a little bit more your cycling passion, if you are a professional cyclist or not, because I also like bicycles. But let's get started with how did you started in programming world?
Okay. Well, I started when I was around 13 or 14 years old. So it was quite a while. And I started as a gamer. I just very passionate with games. And turns out that I didn't have enough money to pay for the regular price for the games. So by then, in that time, I was very interested about getting the game, but there were some programs that were called the cracks, which they would fool the game to think that they were original, right? So I didn't build any of them, but I learned to use them, and I was very interested about that. Like, how is this thing working? I mean, what is a game? And turns out that it was a program. And so when the curiosity started there, and then I was learning more about games, and then I got very interested in Flash, which was an animation program a lot of time ago, was owned by Macromedia company, I guess. And I started to play a little bit with that. And turns out that inside it was a language called ActionScript. So, and I started to play with it, and I got hooked. And that's how I started. So since then, I'm the happiest person in the world.
That's a good history. But you started doing and programming some games. And how did you know about Python? How did you discover about Python? How did you start programming Python? Do you work with Python today?
Yes, I do work with Python and also with JavaScript. I knew about Python in 2007. I was already working as a junior developer in Java, right? And there was a new project in the company, and there was nobody with that experience. Neither did I, but I said, why not? Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. And then, I knew Python and I never came back. So yeah, the project started, and it was very challenging because I had to spend most of my weekends learning Python and try to catch up with the language and the platform. So it was very nice, a very nice challenge trying to to learn Python very fast. Fortunately, it's a very nice language to learn. So yeah, since then, we looked for projects with Python, and fortunately, there are a lot of them. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So, how many years are you working with Python and involved with community?
Well, with Python, it was since 2008, I think, or seven. It was a 2 years project. Then I started to play with other languages like PHP and well even C sharp, and that's it. And then I came back to Python in 2012, and there I started using Django and other technologies. And the community side, it started I think around 2014, 2015, when I was in Medellin. In Bogota, the community was very strong around Django, but in Medellin there was a community. There was few events, but I thought there was a lot, and Medellin could provide a lot of events, and there were a lot of interested people. So I contacted the organizer, and we found that we got common interest, and we started to work on the Medellin community.
Nice. So I imagine that's how you come to the point of organizing a PyCon in your country. Yeah.
Yes. The PyCon. It was. I mean, I was very interested about how the top developed countries were the referent for such events, like US or UK or Germany, or among others. And in Colombia, there was already the third JSConf. So we were talking with other people of the community, and we said, hey, what it takes to do our first event. And or started with just thinking about it, a couple of beers, but then it turns out in a real event, and we organized, and it was fun. So yeah, that was the beginning.
No, I was just saying before we jump to the next question that there's a funny thing here on the chat. We just learned how to pronounce Medellin, because here in Brazil, we always say Medellin, and now we learned how to speak Medellin. So maybe it's a signal that we need more Spanish talks here. Maybe for the next Python Brazil, we need to have at least one track with more people from Latin America giving Spanish talks. Then maybe in 1 year I can learn more about this wonderful language. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Also, I've heard that PyCon US is very interested in creating a track only in Spanish. So yeah, we can try to do that, and it will be fun.
Yeah,
I think.
Nice. Go ahead, Eliezer.
Yeah, so you said you started with the community 2-3 years ago, and that's really interesting because now you are leading the organization of PyCon Colombia. And since we don't know much about Colombia, can you tell us what are the challenges of organizing such an event on Colombia?
Yes, absolutely. The challenge, I think there were two main challenges. The first one is that the community itself, back in 2016, it was somehow active, right? But it was very, let's say, disconnected. So Cali was very active, but they got their own community and their own events. And there were other cities like Medellin and Bogota. So the first challenge was, okay, let's get together, all the leaders of the country, and share some thoughts about what would be the event, right? And how can we bring our ideas and our time to make this happen. So the first challenge was to contact all of them and create some time to meet and to bring things to the table. It was very, very challenging. And also the other thing that was challenging is that Colombia is, although the adoption of Python has been growing a lot, we are still a developing country, right? And that has its own challenges in the market. For example, the sponsors, when we started from scratch, and we got 2 companies from Colombia and the Python Software Foundation, plus the university who helped with the space, which is very important. That's it. That was the first PyCon in Colombia. So the money was very scarce, and we tried to do our best with the least amount of money. And well, we think we did a good job. So yeah, it was very challenging. Now the second version, there is a little bit more of interest, but we still see that there are some companies that are not into the events and that kind of conferences, different from US. For example, if you see PyCon US, there are more than 20 or 30 sponsors, right? So yeah, I think that those 2 things are the more challenging. Other than that, it's just pure heart and willing to do the things. And the team that we have right now for Python 2018 is bigger and is more independent, and they are bringing a lot of ideas to the table. So we have been able to create a very nice event for this year.
So I saw today a post from PyCon Colombia. I think you've shared about the communities in there, and I've counted here a little quickly. So forgive me if I'm saying the wrong number, but I counted 15 different communities in Colombia.
Correct.
And
yes.
All of them are converging to the PyCon. So you said this is going to be the second edition, right?
Correct.
So how many people attended the first PyCon, and how many people you are expecting for this second PyCon?
Okay, the first one we were 209 attendees. It was among sponsors, tickets sold, partners, speakers, workshoppers, among others. And this year we are hoping to have between 350. I hope more, maybe 400. But let's see how the numbers go. So far, we're doing good.
Nice. So let's share with our audience the agenda for the event. How many days, which kind of event will be there, talks, tutorials, and this kind of stuff. And please share with us which keynote speakers will be there, if you already have the names.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in general, the event for this year, it would be three days. With the first 2 days would be fully focused on keynotes and speakers, and the last day, that would be on Sunday, it would be workshops and also keynote. And we're very happy that the PyCon is very interested in getting the most quantity and quality and qualified speakers possible. So for this year, we got 30 speakers, and also we have 18 tutorials, workshops, right? And we have 7 keynotes. So we think that all the keynotes and speakers, they are very talented, and we are very happy and so lucky to have them at the event in Medellin. So yeah, that's the general schedule of the event. Let me talk a little bit more about the keynotes. Well, first of all, we are going to come with Naomi Cedar, which is the chair of the Python Software Foundation. When just an anecdote, I went to PyCon US last year, and I talked to her directly, in person. When she said, "Yeah, that sounds like fun going to Colombia," I was in heaven. I couldn't believe the chief of the organization, of the Python organization, was willing to go to Colombia. And then we keep talking, and she finally confirmed. But I was so overwhelmed and so happy to have her here. So yeah, we are doing our best to show her that in Colombia there is talent and there is a lot of things to do. Other keynotes that are going to come here, Lorena Mesa, she's one of the directors, also part of the Python Software Foundation. She's a data scientist, and she's also a software engineer. So she's a very nice person. I have been able to share with her via email, and yeah, we're very happy that part of the core group of the Python Source Foundation is going to be here. I'm pretty sure we are going to learn a lot, and with that we would improve the Colombian community. Also is going to come here Audrey, Roy Greenfield, and Danny. They wrote the book Two Scoops of Django. They are in this version 1.11. And I mean, for all the web developers in Python, that is like the Bible to create Django apps. So we are very lucky to have them here as well. And we are also counting with Christine Doik Cardet. She's a data scientist. She was a product manager at Anaconda. So for all the people that is very interested into the data science, we are very happy to have her here as well. And also we have two more keynotes. We have Deborah Hanus. She's machine learning researcher and entrepreneur from Harvard and MIT. And she when I was sharing this information with the machine learning groups and leaders in Colombia, they were very happy. They were very interested. So yeah, we're really looking forward for her visit. And finally, we were able to invite Satya Malik. He's an expert in computer vision and also machine learning. He's the creator of the blog Learn OpenCV. So he's going to come here to Colombia and share with all of us about the CV library. So yeah, that's the main presentation of the conference. So we're very happy.
That's a very nice list of keynotes. Yeah, I would like to go there if I can. Yeah, because
absolutely
it's very nice. I would like to see all these people speaking. And also Naomi has been interviewed by us here on the podcast in the past. We did a quick interview with her, and I hope we can do a complete interview in the future. And also other names you mentioned, we will for sure invite for another episode. All good people, and I'll try to get there. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can send you an email connecting you guys, and I'm pretty sure they will be very happy to be part of Castalio. Yeah,
that's great. You mentioned about companies not being so into sponsoring conferences in Colombia, but you said that the Python community in there it's good, or at least is united. That's because, as I said, 15 is going to be joining PyCon Colombia this year. And I'd like to know a little bit more about the community itself, how it's the community currently, and what are the help you are getting from the community in there in order to organize such an event.
Okay. Well, the Colombian Python community in this moment, I'm very happy to say that it is very strong. We still have a lot of things to do, but so far we're very proud of it. I would say that Colombian Python community has three, let's say, legs or pillars. The first one is Django Girls Colombia, which is a community that is focused on encouraging women to reduce the technology breach that is, that technology and software developer is male-driven community, right? So we're trying to change that up via different workshops with Django Girls Colombia. So this year, last year, 2017, we were able to do 6 workshops in different cities of the country. So we were very happy because in 2017 was created the group Python Django Girls Colombia, and they were also created and executed the 6 workshops. So from 0 to 6, I mean, it's a lot of progress, and we are aiming to increase that number in 2018. So that's the first one. The second one is the PyCon Colombia event, which I already described. And the very interesting thing about this event is that, different from other languages, Python is a language that gets together not only software developers, right? They get computer scientists, but also mathematicians, statisticians, people that studied other fields like astrophysics, among others. So it's so nice when you go to PyCon Colombia and you meet with other people. Familiar faces, but also you meet people with such different backgrounds that is very interesting to hear from them, their experiences with the community and with the tools. So that's our second pillar in the Python Colombian community. And the last one, but not the least important, are the meetups itself. And the different countries the different cities are autonomous in organizing their own meetups. And for example, Medellin is the city that has the biggest community, that Spanish speaking community in our country. And I was doing some research, and I think in all Latin America is the biggest one. We are almost getting we have almost 2,000 members in meetup.com. So I think from the community that speak Spanish is the big one, if not one of the big ones. But also there are cities like Bogota, Barranquilla, Cali that are increasing significantly the amount of followers. And for example, Barranquilla is a great example. On 2017, they got in total 11 events during the year, right? And also Cali was very active, and it was very interesting that identifying different interests. For example, Medellin is still very focused on web, same as Bogota, but Barranquilla and Cali, the majority of events were towards machine learning and other data science topics. So it's very nice to see those numbers and try to spot what is the essence of the community.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about this, because here in Brazil, especially in São Paulo, we see that Python community is interested mostly in web development. That's the 50% of the community interested in web development. Then now we have the web scraping in data journalism, which is a very hype, especially data journalism. It's gathering people out from the technology community. We are getting marketing people and also people from journal, TV, and other fields like this. And we have a small portion of data scientists and people interested in data science. So it's the same there. Most people interested in web development, and then you are going to have these other fields.
Yes. I think that so far the majority is still web, but the data scientist community in Python particularly is not that far, right? From the very first PyCon Colombia, we noticed. For example, there was a speaker that was called Jennifer Velez. She studied biology, and she was applying using Python to identifying some patterns in the DNA. So that kind of application, it was very interesting to hear about them. And turns out there were a lot of people from the universities that came to the event to share experiences and to meet new people. So I've seen that the community that they are very interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence and other big data fields, it's growing at a fast rate. So yeah, it's mostly web, but I'm pretty sure that by the end of the year, that is going to change.
Yeah, nice. So I think in PyCon Colombia, you are going to receive people from other countries. I see there are many Brazilians going, and I guess, and also people from other countries and other continents. So I would like to have some tips where to stay. Can you, if I'm going to PyCon, where should I stay? There you have some kind of partnership with some hotel, or you have some cities near the event place to recommend where to stay there?
Well, fortunately, the event and the university is located in one of the nicest neighborhoods of the city of Medellin, which is called Poblado, right? And Poblado is very known for putting people together and to be there. Most of the hotels of the city are placed there, and also it has very nice restaurants, bars, and places to go to dance, to have a couple of beers. So it's very nice. Poblado is definitely the place to go. And I've been talking with some speakers, or even keynotes, about the hotels, and some of them, they really like to take a look to Airbnb posts. But what I recommend is mostly in Poblado, to keep inside that area. There are some very nice deals in Airbnb, but otherwise, there are some nice hotels as well that you can find in Booking.com or other platforms. By the moment, we don't have any special partnership with hotels, but we can provide additional information about hotels if you want.
So whenever I attend PyCon Brazil, usually I like to stay a little bit more days in the city and or maybe travel around in order to know some other places. So I'd like to know, do you have some travel tips for someone that is planning to stay a little bit more and know maybe Medellin or other cities around it? So what is interesting to do there?
Yes, absolutely. And I have to mention something. I am not from Medellin, I'm from Bogota. So I also had to do this research. And it was, I mean, doing the research and actually going to the places, it was very nice. I mean, Medellin is a city that it has a lot of things to do. So I'm going to recommend my top picks, but it depends on the taste, okay? So for example, for the people that really enjoy going to the mountains or going to parks, there are some places. For example, one is called Guatapé, which is a big rock, and you can go there and go up to some stairs, and you can see you can have a very nice view in Guatapé. It's a couple of hours away from the city, but it's definitely worth it. For me, it's one of the nicest place that you can go in Medellin. There are also some places like the RV Park, which is for all the enthusiasts for ecotourism. It's very nice to go there and to spend all the afternoon walking and knowing the park, because it's big, right? But there are also museums. There are parks as well. You have the Botanical Park or Parque Explora. And also there are Museum of Antioquia. There's also a very famous park, the Botero. Botero is an artist, a Colombian artist, and he did sculptures of people, of 5 people, and so there's a park with some sculptures of him. So for the people that are art enthusiasts, that park is ideal. But also, I sometimes I really enjoy the nightlife. So in Poblado, there are some nice bars and there are some nice restaurants. A little bit near to there's a park that is called Geras Park. A couple of blocks near to that park, there are a lot of nice restaurants. So if you really like to know the Colombian gastronomy, definitely you should go there.
That's nice. Python community really like to go to the bar and have some beers.
Yes.
I think most part of the event happens in the bar when you can speak with the keynotes, you can find new friends, and that's the best part of all the events, I guess. The event also is amazing, but going to the bar to the extra hours of the event is the best part. We like so much. Yeah. Always, that's a tip for conference organizers. Always choose a place with bars, lots of bars near, lots of places to have beers and food, because it's very important. Yeah. So recently, actually on the last Python Brazil, we had as keynote Manuel Kaufman from Python Argentina. And he started an initiative to bring PyCon to Latin America, and he wants to do a bigger event called Python Latin America or something like this, and maybe bring together all the communities, include Brazilian, Colombia, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Peru, other Latin American countries. And I would like to know if you are aware of this initiative. What do you think about it? If you And what is your opinion? Do you think Latin America can handle a big event, something like a PyCon North America, but a little smaller? And which countries do you think will be good for the first edition?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, absolutely. I think Latin America has a lot of talent, not only technical talent, but the talent to actually organize such an event. So yeah, I'm quite confident that we could handle that. I've been able to join the first call of Python Latam, and we discussed a little bit of what was the approach to do this event. And I saw that there were two different points that both are has their own valid point, and one of them is we're going to do an event to make it bigger and stronger. So maybe to do that, we should pick a big city that has a lot of already positioned community, and make things easier for other people to go there, right? That way we could reach good numbers. That's one option. And another option is to go to a different approach, to say, okay, let's do it. Let's go together, work together to do the first PyCon in a country or in a city that haven't had it yet, which is interesting. But I mean, it depends of how we would make the decision and go do it. But in general terms, I'm very very curious and at the same time excited to see that event actually moving forward and happening. So yeah, if that is going to happen, and I would be very happy to be part of the group that organized the PyCon Latam.
So the final question was, which countries do you think are good to the first edition of the event?
Well, that's a great question. I would say my first thought is Brazil, right? And why? Because you guys have a huge community. I mean, the Python Brazil, for example, in Sao Paulo, it's huge. And I think there is a lot of potential to start. I think the challenge is that since Brazil is that big, for example, the transportation cost for people in Colombia or in Peru, Ecuador, it's a little bit higher. Is high. So there's a challenge. I would say it's an opportunity. Maybe we have to sit with some airlines and do something, build something in Python for them. I don't know. And so my first thought would be Brazil, also Argentina. I think that their community is very strong. It's very big as well. And yeah, I would say also Colombia. I think we're doing a good job. But yeah, I think it's important to think about the logistics for the people from other countries. So yeah, that would be my nominee.
Yeah, that's not a fair question, by the way, but
yeah, that's rough.
I like what you said. Yeah, I think that will be very great in terms of, for the community itself, because we see that not only Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, so we have also other communities around Latin America. And I think if we can get an event that big, that will make better for all of the communities. So yeah, I'm looking forward it too. All right, so we talked a lot about Python. We talked a lot about PyCon Colombia, which will be an amazing event. So if you can go there, don't lose the opportunity. But we would like to know a little bit more about yourself, John. So we are going to ask you about your top 5. I don't know if you're ready, but we are going to start with music. So it could be bands, artists. So we also have a playlist on Spotify. So whenever our guests shares a specific music, we are going to add. So if you have the one music that you want to go into our playlist, tell us and we'll make it into there. But please share your tastes about music.
Okay, that's a great question. I really like to mix things up, so that would be the main structure of the top 5. I think that my favorite from all of them is the Beatles. Is the music I grew up with, and that those guys helped me understand English and try to talk a little bit. And I was very influenced by my father for that music. So my top one is the Beatles. Might sound cliche, but that's the music I grew up with. And other type of music that I really enjoy is metal. I am a former drummer of a metal band when I was young and beautiful, and I really like Slipknot. I have been to a concert, to 3 or 4 concerts, and I enjoyed as a kid all of them. I really like those guys, and they play really good. So yeah, for me, they are one of the best. And the other ones, from my very taste about metal, there's another band that is called Lamb of God. Is also metal, and they are very nice band as well. I was also able to go to a concert of them in Colombia, and I was so happy to be there. And the last two, I'm going back to rock. I really like a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that they have a nice sound, and also Molotov. Molotov is a Mexican band, and their style, they go a little bit against the rules and everything. So their lyrics are sometimes they're very into politics, and I love that. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very interested in Latin American music. I love a band called Calle 13. I don't know how to pronounce that. And I don't know exactly which country they are. I guess they are from Chile, if I'm not wrong. But do you have some from Colombia, some band? It can be a metal band or another kind of Colombian music that I can listen to share. Do you have a name?
I'm going to give a name, but I have to clarify that maybe it's not the most popular.
Okay.
In Colombia, I have to be honest. In Colombia, there are a lot of mixtures. There are a lot of people they like and they love reggaeton. So there are some artists that are well known. But personally, I really like salsa. And there is a band that is called La 33.
La 33. Nice.
Yeah, and I love those guys. They play so good. So when I'm in a salsa bar and they put some of their songs, I just go very happy. So yeah. Those guys play really good.
Oh, thank you. I'll try to. I'll find and listen today, because I really love to find new Latin American songs. Yeah, there are some singers from Argentina that I like a lot, so I like this. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It helps me because I'm trying to learn a little bit more of Spanish, and it helps a lot to listen to music. So now let's go to the movies. You can mention movies, TV series, documentaries. What do you like?
Yes, I like movies. I've not seen a lot, but from the few ones that I really enjoy, some of them they are classic. For example, I really like Matrix. I think the whole concept, I mean, the philosophy that movie handle, it's very profound to me, and I'm very into that movie. I am that into that. I have a tattoo on my neck for the part that Neo connects to the Matrix. I have tattoo of that. That life marked my life. So yeah, for me that movie is great. But there are also other movies that they question the reality. That is something called Inception. Most of them, they are very Hollywood. They are not. They're very known. I'm not into weird movies or something. And Inception, I also like the concept of how the dreams are shaped, and you can do anything. That movie really got my attention. Maybe changing from the type of movies, I really like funny movies. So for example, Jim Carrey, his movies, I love those movies. Sometimes when I'm not in the mood, I just go to YouTube and pick a lot of episodes of his movies, and that clicks me and get me back in the good mood. So that guy for me is very funny. And a specific movie from him, that there is a call that is lawyer. He's very old, and it was that he was very he was a lawyer, but he also used to not to say the truth. So he got in very funny situation because of that. That I think. Oh, I also liked this movie Avatar. The blue guy, and they were not from Earth; they were from other planet. For me, there was like the representation of the colonialism when the European came to Latin America and meet the people that was living here, and there was a lot of people killed and everything. For me, that was the perfect description of what happened, right? But the difference is that in Avatar, the people from the other planet, they won the war. So that made me thought about what would have happened if that didn't back then. That story would be different, but it was just a thought. But yeah, I really like the effects and all the history of the movie. The count in this moment is 4, right? I'm missing a fifth. Fifth is a lot of movies for me.
You can mention TV shows, TV series, documentaries, anything you watch on the TV. Also video games.
Okay.
If you like video games, you can put there. Because some video games today looks like movies. So that goes in the same category.
Yes. Well, I have a TV series and a game. TV series, I really like The Big Bang Theory. Those nerdy guys, it's just hilarious how they meet Penny, and I mean it's a lot of fun, and Sheldon is so fun. Games. When I was a kid, I used to play a lot. Now not that much, but back then I really liked World of Warcraft. Sometimes I literally didn't sleep. I just spent 2 days in a row playing, and my mother said to me, "Hey, you have to sleep. You have to do something different." So yeah, for me that game was crucial for my life.
Yeah, those are really good sharing. So yeah, I really like. I think all the movies and also The Big Bang Theory and World of Warcraft. Those are really good things. I haven't played much World of Warcraft, but I've played a game called Ragnarok, something like that. It was a RPG just like World of Warcraft, and I think I've played a lot. So this is one game that I miss a lot nowadays. But yeah, moving into our last section of the top 5, we want you to share some suggestions about books. Also, it could be some comics or whatever you like to read. Could be blogs. So anything related to reading.
Okay, about books, I am a little bit quotation mark boring about books, but I'm going to give my top 5. For me, the book that changed the way I see things in my life is a book that is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I really like that book because it kind of teaches you how to get along with people, right? Sometimes people are so into their own selves that they don't think about other people. And so that book opened my mind and say, okay, John, this is about others, and this is how you can get along with them and understand their situation. After I read that book, I was another person. So yeah, for me, it's the top 1 that I would recommend. And there's another a book that I really enjoyed and helped me to see different life and the dynamics of the economy. And it's called How Rich People Think. I don't remember the author, sorry about that. But what these guys said in this book is basically they put on the table 20 or 30 phrases comparing what he calls world-class people and the middle-class people. And he was saying, okay, most people think that, for example, rich people are greedy, or they are always about thinking about money and that kind of things. But actually what they are doing is doing their best to make a difference. And so, for example, if you see people in this field, even in this field, like you think about Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, yeah, they have a lot of money, but if you see their lifestyle, they don't have the Lambo or the expensive watch and that kind of things. What they did is they focused their entire life to make happen a dream, right? And what they do is use money to hire the best people possible and to build that dream and to make it happen. And so the rich people is not about fancy vacation and kind of things. It's just like you get money, and money is not the end. It's just the way you get to your dreams. And and this guy show other situations. So he was showing those situations and those examples, and it changed the way I see things in terms of economy. So for me, that book was amazing. And number 3, there is a book that is called Delivering Happiness. The author is Tony Hsieh. He's the CEO of this company called Zappos. And he was mentioning that how through company culture, he was able to create one of the most culture-focused company in the world, and how they deliver great value to the clients and to the customers. And so that guy shows all the process of how they implemented the culture in Zappos. And he also mentioned talks a lot about happiness and how there are different levels of happiness. For example, the lowest level is when you buy things that it feels good, but the next day after it's gone, right? So that is just a happiness that doesn't last too much. But he also mentioned an ultimate level of happiness where you belong to something that is greater than you and that you actually built. You don't get it. You built that. And being able to build that and be part of that makes you happier in the long term. For me, that book focused my way of seeing happiness. Another one, number 4, is there is a book that is called Start With Why. That book was written by a guy that is called Simon Sinek, and he talks about asking first about why you do things, or why people or companies do things, actually help you to get things done better. And for me, that book is like when you have a difficult situation, you want to make a decision, or you want to build your own company, first ask yourself why. What are you doing this for? And sometimes if the question is money, if the answer is money, maybe building a technology company is not the best way, or maybe it is. But maybe you are going to give up because you are thinking about money. You are not thinking about delivering a service or a good product. You're just thinking about money. So if you win the lottery, maybe you leave the company, or you want to sell the company as quick as you want. So that book helped me a lot. Like when I want to do something else, learn a new language, or work for a company, I always try to ask why I want to do that. That's why that book was very important. And the last one that I would recommend, there is a book that is called The 10X Rule. It was written by a guy called, I don't remember the name, sorry about that. Okay, so this guy has a saying that you have to be obsessed or be average. And this is basically how I see life and how I try to do things, to do my best, not just to make it good enough. I try every day to do my best. And if I'm doing a PyCon, I'm trying to do the best. If I'm leading a team, I'm trying to do the best as I can. So that's why I mean, that book actually teach me how to see life, not like, okay, this is work and this is life, and you post work and you start life. And then on Sunday or on a Monday morning, you post life and you start working. I just see it as a whole, right? For me, my life is PyCon. My life is coding. My life is the company I'm working at. So I mix things up, and I'm very obsessed making things better and deliver more value to the people that I meet. And so yeah, that book was really encouraging for me to keep going and to know that it's okay to be very obsessed about the things you want, and you have to fight for it.
Nice. That's a very good list of books. I will try to read some of them. Thanks for sharing. And we are closing to the end of the episode. But as I said on the beginning, I cannot end this episode without asking about something I love. You mentioned about your tattoo. You can see my tattoo here. It's a bicycle because this is something that I love so much. And unfortunately, here in Brazil, in São Paulo, it's not very safe to ride bicycle in the city. And I'm not cycling every day as I usually did in the past. But every year I go to the Heroica. I don't know if you know about the Heroica trekking. It's a vintage bike, which happens in Uruguay and Italia. There are some in the world. So I like the road vintage bikes from the 60s or 50s. More old, the better. And I just want to know, how are you cycling? Do you like which kind of bicycle? Road bike, mountain bike? What are you doing on bicycle? Are you a pro or just a...
No, just I want to be. Yeah, in this moment, I ride road bicycle, and I usually go 4 times a day to the gym. So I use my bicycle to go there and then to go back. It's just 10 or 15 minutes away from here. But on weekends, I go out of the city. There are some places near Bogota that you can ride, and it's very good. And if you go very early, it's very cold, so it's nice.
Is it safe to ride bicycles in the city there?
There are some neighborhoods that is better not to do it, but there are some others that is just fine, but you have to be careful to see the hour. It's different, maybe very late at night, maybe it's not a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I hope to go someday to cycling on Colombia. I used to go to Uruguay because Uruguay is very safe. All the country is safe to ride bicycles or to walk on the beaches or on the cities. And I would love to know more places where I can go with my bicycle and don't be afraid of cars and buses and trucks. It's something I would like to do. Okay, very nice. So first, I would like to thank you so much for being here with us today. It was very good, a very good conversation about Python, PyCon. I loved all that you talk about the community. I would like to go to PyCon. If I cannot go this year, I will try to go in another meetup or event if I can. And so thank you so much. And I will give you a space here for you to give your final message for our listeners. Say what you want, and you can talk about projects, say a final message to the community, or even sell something. If you have something to sell, it's your time.
Okay, yeah. Well, I would like to thank you guys for your invite and letting me here in your program. I'm very happy to be here, and I would like to extend my invitation to the PyCon Colombia 2018. The team has been working very hard to make this happen, and we are also very proud of the keynote, the speakers, the workshops that are going to be there. So it's definitely a good moment to get and to learn some Python, also to know the city, which is great. The weather is amazing. So yeah, you're very invited to go, and if you have any question, any suggestion for the PyCon, you can send me an email to john@pycon.com.
All right. So thank you, John. I would like to also thank all of our listeners and everyone that has participated here with us on the live chat. So it was a pleasure to have you in the show, and everyone that has followed us on this live recording here. So for who is listening us on the podcast later on, also thank you very much. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. We have Twitter, we have Facebook. Also, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel so you can follow the other live recordings, and also send your questions on the live chat. So again, thank you very much, John. And I hope maybe you can come back after the PyCon Colombia and share how the event was. So I wish the event will be very good. And thank you very much for joining us and sharing all that information, especially the top 5. I really like it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I really happy. And yeah, I would really like to go to Brazil again and share some thoughts, and maybe be here at the in a new podcast as well. It would be very nice.
Nice. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Until the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I know you want it, but you can't have it, 'cause I ain't gonna give you none. Come on! Give nobody none of my jelly roll. I wouldn't give you a piece of this cake to save your soul. My mom told me today, before she went away, to be a good boy, she'd bring me a toy. I'm my mama's red hot boy. Now there ain't no use for you to keep on hanging round. I love you, but I've got to let you down. Oh, Lord, your jelly roll is fine, but it ain't as good as mine. I know you want it, but you can't have it, 'cause I ain't gonna give